Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
The future.
I think Lambert's got a problem getting here to the meeting, but I'm afraid so have I. I'm in the car and I'm a long way from home.
Oh dear. Drive carefully.
I am doing, but Lambert asked me if I would take charge if he wasn't here, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be here. I mean, I'm here now on the phone, but I can't do very much actively to chair.
Yeah. Well, I've got lots to say, and I've got a large presentation to show. So,
Okay, well, that's
so,
good. That's good.
so we won't get bored, I guess.
Well, I've got a live presentation too, and Peter, if you want, I can go over what happened last session with the chairs meeting.
That's brilliant, John. I didn't realize you were going to be here. We thought you might have been tight for time, didn't we?
I made it. I made it.
Well done, that man. Well done. Well, listen, I'll not be. I mean, I'm here, but I'm in the dark because I'm driving, and I can't really do much actively. So, can you chair until Lambert gets here, John?
Sure. Sure.
There you go. I'll hand you over to John Fine.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll go over what happened in the chairs meeting. We Lambert brought up points about the Antarctic initiative that we're doing, and got some clarification there. And but the big news is a presentation given by Cheryl Gallinger. It was a very great presentation of a future initiative that I think has some definite possibilities with a company that we've had some contact with. They were mostly responsible for some of the stuff or for some of the components that got our presence on the moon. And they have made a proposal to Asgardia and given it to Cheryl, and uh, she has presented that to us, and we're all going to look it over because there's a lot of information. There's no way I could give it to you all here, but it's very positive and very forward-looking. And so I'm looking forward to going over that information with her, or with the that she has produced. She has shared it with all of us, and or at least the chairs I know. And I'm sure that everybody here will get a briefing on that in the future. Um, and then the last item was I asked to present a presentation for this session. It's my homework assignment that that we were told we need to have. So I have mine ready, and if Benedetto and Jacob will allow me, I would like to present my homework assignment. Uh, I was kind of hoping the chair would be. Oh, there he is. The chair is here, so
I am here. I am.
I will let him take over.
Thank you very much, John. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone around the world. I have a very personal reason why I'm a bit late, and I will have to delegate the chairing. My daughter, Angelina, who you've all seen, is in a concert this evening, and I need to watch her because family has to come first. When Peter is here, I haven't checked to see if Peter Morn is here, but when he's here, I'll hand over to him. So apologies for that, but it's because you have to put your children first.
I am here,
Briefly,
Lambert, but
let me just give you the. Oh, great, Peter.
I'm stuck. I can't
Okay.
really do anything because I'm in the car and I'm in a terrible traffic jam. So John Fine is going to stand in for me when you can't.
Okay,
When
well,
you can't be
that's
there.
fine. Okay, what we'll do is I will give you my brief report, then hand to John for his excellent presentation, by which time Peter will be home. I will probably be able to rejoin, but I have to listen to Angelina's performance, and it would be very sad if I did not attend. Every parent should do that. Briefly, my comments. Remember this, Guardian. Well, the next digital sitting is still scheduled for the 27th Feb to 1st of March. 27th Feb to 1st of March. So please be ready for that. Connected to that, I expect to have this Guardian Legislative Forum on the 14th of February. That's Valentine's Day, but we'll keep it short. And I'm very eager to have a conversation with with everybody as usual about the forthcoming legislation for that digital sitting. Also connected to that, third point, next Thursday, I'm hoping that Peter Moore, the Deputy Chair of Parliament, the Chair of the Justice Committee, Mark Beer, who's the Justice Minister, and Salvos Mazakitis, who's the lawyer, who's also the Chair of the Mandate Commission, will have spoken about the legislation for this Asgardia Territory Act. Very important we get that right. So next Thursday, I want to devote time on that as well. Those are my main items. John's already summarised, I think, the absolutely excellent work that Cheryl's been doing in the other meeting. John, what I suggest you do is you commence your presentation. And Peter, how long will you be till you get home? All I can see is Peter's screen.
I don't know it, Lambert. The traffic is absolutely dreadful.
Okay, what we'll do then, because don't wait. Then what we'll do is, if Sarah's here, if John's presenting, John can't also chair. So if Sarah is here, I'll ask Sarah to chair until John finishes his presentation. So John, let's go back to you. Unless Cheryl, you want to say something.
Thank you. Oh,
Cheryl may want to say something.
Okay.
She's here.
Does Cheryl want to say something?
I'm just checking if she's here. You carry on, John. We can come back to this. So back to you, John, for your presentation.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Like I said, I'm still figuring out this system. So,
what system? By system, you mean computer?
Yeah.
Whilst John's preparing, if you are new to Asgardia, then please do join as a resident. It's €100 per year, and then you get all the rights of a resident. You can be fully involved in the whole civic life. You can vote, you can stand for elections and everything else. we are the most developed space nation, the only real space nation on Earth, and the only fully functioning digital democracy. What you're seeing here is in real time, unedited and live. And back to you, John.
Okay, can you see? There should be a slide that says Asgardia at 10.
Not,
Is
not,
that what you?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All
but
right.
it's not full screen at
Quite
my end.
small. No, it's quite small, John.
Oh,
I
I'm
can see
sorry.
three.
Hold
I can
on.
see three actual bits of stuff.
Oh no, okay. You got the wrong. See, there you go. I got the
It's not
wrong.
our fault.
No, I
Always,
know it's mine. It's
blame
mine.
the audience, John.
I will fix that. Okay. It was supposed to. Hold on. Pardon me while we go through technical difficulties.
Just while you're doing that, just to say that we are moving very quickly. There's a lot to happen this year. And the homework John has done is homework I hope that all the chairs of committees will do this year. We have a lot on the agenda for the next digital sitting. The most important thing is the Asgardia Antarctica Act, which is really important as well, really important.
I'm trying to figure out.
And Lambert, after John has
Yes.
finished, then we also have a presentation from the homework
Yes.
group. I have a longer presentation as continuing of my previous one.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. That is great. Thank you so much for that. So we'll start with John and then we'll come to you. As I say, if I have to go in for the performance, which I will have to do, then let Sarah chair. I'm checking, I presume Sarah is here. If you're not here, Sarah, please say. I can't find.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, great. So I probably will be in the performance at that point, but I might not be. So, John, are you ready? Have you managed to succeed in fixing your problem? I think John's taking his system offline now.
I think I lost the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I closed the window.
I think you did. Don't panic.
I'm trying to find
well,
it
once
again.
again, as John's doing that, somebody asked me what progress there is with the Prime Minister. Just to clarify the process is that the Supreme Space Council will make a proposal to Parliament. If we have not got a Prime Minister candidate for the next digital sitting, we might have a special sitting of the Parliament to consider the application. At this point, we don't have that. So just patience, and we shall get there. It's not my decision, it's not my call. I am one member of the Supreme Space Council, but I don't make any such decision. It really is the SSC. John, how's it going?
All right. I just got it figured out.
Okay.
Okay, now I just got to get back to the Zoom screen.
Well, we can see you, John. The world is watching. Up to 8,000 million people are watching. And they're
I
just
can't
the
figure
ones
out
on
how to
Earth.
minimize here. Hold on, where you at? Okay. I guess I'm gonna have
The way you look around that screen makes it look enormous, like it's the size of a wall.
All right, it should work this time. Let's see. Where's my Zoom page? There it is. Okay, Zoom. Let's try this one more time.
There we are. We see some. Pinch out for a bigger view, it says.
It's
and just once again, I'm taking the advantage of the time. John will also be. I'm sorry, correction. At the next sitting, John. Yes, that's right. John will also be doing a review of the LMRG on day 3. That's a legislative merit review group. That's made such a difference. It's made things much faster. But please, let's remember next Thursday we have to talk about the Asgardia Antarctica Act again. And I will send the message to Peter Morn, Salvos Musakitis, and Mark Beer after this.
All right, do you see the big screen now? Asgardia at 10?
Perfect.
Yes, we
Okay.
can now, Lars.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Today's brief is not a rebuttal, a critique, or a competing vision. It is an implementation-focused perspective on what has become known as Asgardia's generational initiative, a term that was very clearly articulated during the Chair of Parliament Q&A session. This presentation is meant to help us understand how that vision translates into real institutional action over time, and where Asgardia already has meaningful foundations in place to support it. The purpose of this presentation is simple. First, to interpret the generational initiative from a planning and implementation perspective rather than a philosophical one. Second, to show how that vision can realistically produce results over a multi-year horizon without requiring new institutions, new authorities, or radical restructuring. And third, to make clear that this is a shared institutional work. This is not about one committee, ministry, or individual. It is about how Asgardia functions as a system. Before going any further, it's important to recognize the leadership behind this effort. Professor Benedetto's 10-year reflection provided the intellectual and strategic framing that allowed this conversation to happen in a serious way. Minister Jacob Mulder, working through the Manufacturing Committee and Ministry, helped translate that thinking into something operational and forward-leaning. This presentation, letter, and template developed by the Minister Mulder and Chair Benedetto served as useful instruments for collecting input. This presentation is focused on institutional framing, highlighting how existing structures, tools, and initiatives align with and support the generational initiative. What we are seeing here is exactly what institutional maturity looks like: collaboration across committees and ministries rather than isolated planning. From a planning standpoint, the most important thing to understand is what this 5-year horizon within a generational model is and what it is not. It is a generational institution level direction focused on continuity, responsibility, and long-term relevance. It is not a 5-year project plan, a centralized control mechanism, or a list of deliverables. That distinction matters because it explains why this initiative resonates so broadly. It creates alignment without hierarchy. When we speak about institutions and continuity here, this includes the administrative function as the stabilizing element across political cycles. When you strip the language down to planning fundamentals, the generational initiative operates across 4 layers. First is vision and identity, why Asgardia exists, and what responsibility it claims. Second are institutions, parliament, ministries, committees, who carry continuity beyond individuals. Third are tools and capabilities, laws, platforms, assets that allow action to occur. And fourth is adoption and participation, which is where real-world results appear. The vision explicitly assumes these layers exist. The key question is whether they are ready. At the institutional level, Asgardia is no longer in an experimental phase. We have constitutional continuity, functioning parliamentary processes, and clearly defined committee and ministry mandates. This matters because generational initiatives only work when institutions outlive election cycles and personalities. From that perspective, Asgardia is positioned much more maturely than is often recognized. One of the strongest alignment points with the generational initiative is the existing legislative infrastructure. The Opportunity Act enables structured digital labor and economic participation. The Digital Content Authorization Act incentivizes engagement, outreach, and measurable contribution. Together with the broader trade and commerce and equity and resources frameworks, these laws convert participation from an abstract ideal into lawful, trackable activity. These are not conceptual tools, they are operational. Law alone is not enough. Platforms and assets matter. The Asgardia.trade platform provides a practical mechanism for business registration, ecosystem development, and external engagement. The Above Space Initiative represents a disciplined, incremental approach to establishing real space-based assets, something essential for a nation that identifies as a space nation. Together, these move Asgardia from symbolic presence toward material credibility. And I would add Cheryl's initiative with that. Generational legitimacy is not built internally alone. Work related to Antarctica aligned legal pathways supports treaty compliant experimentation and international credibility. The Galactic Prime Directive Initiative demonstrates Asgardia's ability to convene scientists, advocates, and policy actors around emerging space law. These are contributions to the global community, not branding exercises. The primary constraint facing the generational initiative is not vision, law, or structure. It is adoption. Tools must be used, platforms must be activated, and incentives must align with participation. This is not a failure. It is the normal next phase of institutional maturity. It is solvable through coordination rather than control. From a governance and planning standpoint, 5 years is a realistic horizon. The early years focus on alignment and pilots. The middle years focus on adoption and external partnerships. By year 5, the expectation is not perfection, but demonstrable outcomes that signal durability and seriousness. Institutions grow this way. They do not sprint. The generational initiative gives Asgardia a unifying direction at an important moment. Our institutions already provide continuity. Our legal and operational tools already exist. The next phase is about activation, coordination, and sustained participation. Asgardia is no longer defining what it wants to be, It is learning how to function as what it claims to be. And that is the mark of a generational institution. Thank you. One humanity, one unity. All right, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Sarah, I think you're
Yes,
on
I'm up.
cue.
I was going to say,
No,
it
I'm
appears
here. I'm here.
Minnie's here.
Yeah, don't worry. I just terrible signal where I am. John, that's really interesting. Can I make 3 points and then I think maybe others, including I'm going to keep the camera off because the signal's not good where I am. Three thoughts I've got, and I think Jakob may be commenting as well. First of all, you are absolutely right, John. No system works if it's dependent on personality alone. I have seen political parties grow and collapse because it was all about one person. And that is dangerous because then you're not building a movement, you're building a cult. And I think that's so important that the collective agenda is the number one priority. Second thing is, I noticed the call to action for all of us, and that has to be about results focus. I've mentioned that before, I won't repeat it. The third one is, in a way, what you've described as a kind of operating system for Asgardia. That's what I think. It's a little bit like the LMRG, Legislative Merit Review Group. It adds value because it creates a very powerful operating system. Now, I wonder if there is some way we can codify what you presented into a very simple agenda. It ties in with what we discussed last week.
Well,
And
I have some documents that I'm going to be sharing that kind of it's a full page briefing and other things that go along with this presentation. So I'm sharing those. I don't quite know how to do the all share on the thing, and
so
maybe
give it to Linda. Give it to
Okay.
Linda, parliamentary coordinator. Sorry, head of the parliamentary office, and then Linda can share it with everybody. That's
Okay.
that's the proper way to do it.
Okay.
It is going to take you time, and I think our limits to how many people you can individually send it to. So it's much better to send it once, and then she'll send it once, and it'll save everybody a lot of time.
Okay.
So thank you for that. Jakob, I think you were commenting or were you just praising?
No, it's okay. I can continue on this later, but yeah, I've got next steps behind this. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not in a good position to see who has their hands raised.
And I hope I got your likeness and Benedetto's likeness correct there, Ben. Did you
Yeah,
like the
sure.
pictures?
Yeah, sure. It's okay. It matches very nicely what Benedetto has said, I think, what he wrote in his documents. And it also quite nicely matches with the presentation that I'm going to give like in 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, and well, I mean, in the briefing, the cartoon pictures I used for you and Benedetto, I hope you like those.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need,
By the way,
Excuse me,
practical
just
question. Yeah, sorry, Benno.
just to say that ministers don't have the link for the session today, so it's maybe why nobody is here today.
Oh, yeah.
could you say that again, please, Benedetto?
The ministers don't have the link of the session of
right.
tonight.
Oh, my apologies. It should be. I'll make sure every week. Let us send the link. I'll ask my team to send the link to, or I can ask my team to talk to Merrily, who says the government, so that you're invited. Until we have a new prime minister, I think it's important you have a home. So let's make sure that we do this. If chairs or parliamentarians want to have a closed session without government, then please say. But the default, the automatic position until we have a new prime minister is that everyone's welcome to each meeting. That's what I'd like to ask us to do. So thank you for saying. There's not an obligation. You're not obliged to come. but it's good because we're making a lot of fast progress at the moment. So thank you for that. Who else has their hands raised?
At the moment, nobody.
Okay, thank you, John. Anything else you want to add before we carry on? Because I do think we should codify this. This is a template for action. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for your comments. Thank you, Jacob, for yours and Ben and everything. I look forward to I really appreciate Benedetto bringing this forward and you and Benedetto. So this is really a positive move, and we've already seen what Cheryl is presenting, and it aligns with this very well. A lot of the initiatives that I'm already are doing align with it very well, and I think this is just what we need to to get us to that next step. So I appreciate your all's effort. Thank you.
Yes, that's right. And notice one more thing. It was a collaboration between a minister and a chair of a committee that led to this renewed focus on results. I always knew if we have good relationships between chairs and ministers, things would happen more quickly. So that's great. So thank you so much, John. And okay, you've made the contribution, and very happy to proceed as planned. And remember the other, well, I'll come to that under any other business. I need to be reminded to do something important as well. So unless anybody else has any questions, let's move on to Jakob.
Very good. Thank you. I don't see any hands, so I think I'll
Great.
continue. I'll start with a funny small thing. John, you in your presentation you mentioned Professor Benedetto. It is actually Benedetto Professo. That's his last name.
Maybe he was
So
just being very formal.
that's just funny. No problem. Anyway, so I'm very happy that we have two groups that have done their homework, which is very good. Last week we presented a few things, Benedetto's story and the presentation for the homework, and so I'm very happy with that. I just saw Cheryl's documents also. I had a quick look at her presentation. I was a bit late. I was just in time for this meeting. So I did not follow the chair's meeting before this. But it looks very promising. It looks like she has a organization that can create a how did I wrote it down? This where did I put it down? A digital economic platform. That's what I took from it, but I only read it for 2 minutes, so I'm not sure whether it's one like that. Is there anybody from you that was in the chairs meeting that can provide a summary? Or I don't think Cheryl is here at the moment.
Peter would be best placed to give that summary, I think. But I think he's driving. Sarah, this is finance. Do you want to briefly summarize?
Actually, no, I would be happy to. Peter is here. He looks to be in his sitting room, so maybe.
Ah,
he
great.
would like
Okay,
to-
Peter. Then thank you, Peter.
Yeah, sorry. I would be hard pressed to summarize what we got earlier in the presentation in the chairs meeting, because there's so much to absorb, and I think Sarah's just done very well to dodge that. It is it's something I think we'll have to report back on. If we had Cheryl here, that would be different, but I think I'm not going to put my foot in it by trying to summarize something that I didn't quite grasp in full. So I think we should defer that. But it was a comprehensive presentation, and we will come back with a report, perhaps next week, Lambert, to your meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather that we did it directly firsthand anyway with Cheryl. That makes more sense. Yes. So Jakob, there's a teaser. There's a temptation for you to come next week.
Very good. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so I've got then 2 things from now to show. One is the homework from our own line of business, so the manufacturing group, so the ministry and the parliamentary committee. Together, we came up with, and we filled in the homework document, which I could now share. I won't go through all of it, but I can quickly show how it looks like. Let me see how I can share. That is strange. I can't find the share button. I do find. Sorry, I was not looking. I need new glasses. Let me see. Where is my presentation? Now, where is my document? That is. Is this? Yeah, this should be it. You should now see a Word document with a 5-year mission, line of business, manufacturing. Do you see that?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so what you see here is the
Yes, sorry,
form.
yes, we.
Okay, no problem. My internet connection is not that good, so I always check, and especially at this moment it's snowing over here, and that makes my internet connection even worse. So this is a document. This is filled in the form that Benedetto has created and sent around last week, Thursday. And so this is for the line of business of manufacturing. And it says here, the first question, do you accept the challenge? Yes, or do you confirm, blah, blah, blah. Of course we do, because we sort of started the whole story. And then it says here, okay, give us priorities, what you're doing. And this is the thing that we want to do in manufacturing, create a widely supported swarm architecture for a space fleet to prepare for sustainable living and working in space, and perform preparatory steps for its implementation. So that's quite a thing, but that's a typical thing that manufacturing should do. We won't create the whole swarm, of course, but we will create the swarm architecture and perform the first steps to implement it. So that's why there are 4 sub-goals. The first is creating that architecture. The second one is establish collaboration with implementation partners, and like typically what also and what John said with the above space, and what Cheryl said with the digital economic platform, the company that she has worked with. Those are typically implementation partners. And there might be more. It might be, for example, that we eventually also might be able to contact SpaceX or something like that. And for example, also I'm working with CGI. That's the company that I work for, which is a large IT company. And I'm currently arranging a discussion with one of the main leaders of CGI and head of nations to make that collaboration working. And the third one is to do the collaboration with investors. And because we also, of course, need money for all those things that we do. And of course, there should be first a return on investment defined in that swarm architecture. And then, of course, logically, the fourth point is to have an organization behind that. And the organization, in fact, already exists. It's swarmarchitecture.space. That's the name of the organization. It's also the name of the website. And it's also registered at Asgardia Trade in our own Chamber of Commerce, but also in the Chamber of Commerce in the Netherlands, because that's where I live, and yeah, I started the company. So it's already quite something that is over there, and there's more to it, like how many residents do you expect to use, how many time do they need, how many budget do you need, and so on. And the most important part in this is that we need a sort of institutional seed. That is to say, we need some continuity. We don't need much budget for the project itself, for the program itself. We do need the seed from the institution. That is to say, all of the lines of business, all of the ministries, all of there has to be a continuity on this for the coming 5 years. That's one of the most important things. That's also exactly what John said, of course. We need continuity. We need how do you say it? Institutional. was a very nice word you said. Generational initiative for continuity and stewardship framework. I like those words, John. Very nice. Anyway, so this is the document, and of course I would very much like that to receive similar filled in forms from all of the other lines of businesses. So the other ministries and parliamentary committees that also should create such a document and fill it in. And now I would like to show the presentation, because that's the continuation of the presentation that I gave last week. Yeah, Ariadne says in the chat, the most important thing is continuity. That's what we need. We need to. This should not be a one-off. It should not end after a few months or so. We should really be doing this for the coming 5 years, and that's the idea. Okay, so now the presentation. Let me see whether this works. Something should come up now. Do you see a presentation coming up? Asgardia's 5-year mission starting now. Do you see that?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Very good. So it works. Nice. Okay. Okay. So starting now, starting today. Are we starting today? Yeah, we are, because we already have 3 of those line of business documents, 3 of those things that are filled in. Oh, I see do I see a hand raised from Ivan? Ivan, maybe you should go first.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can. Hi.
Excellent. First, I want to apologize for being late to the meeting. Actually, ministers haven't received the link to the meeting, so I forwarded it first to Cheryl, who is also waiting for the link. I hope she will see her WhatsApp. So if you're following us on YouTube, please check your WhatsApp. I also sent it on the Telegram channel for the cabinet of the ministers. So
apologies, that's my fault. What we'll do in future, ministers, is we will send this to Linda will send this to Merrily, and then Merrily can send it to you. That's the right process. We can send it directly, but I think it's just good practice if we do it that way. And thank you for the feedback on that.
Okay. Also, I wanted to say we have a sad news. I posted the link to the post as it was mentioned by Dirk Byens in the chat on the YouTube channel. We have lost today, actually the news came that we have lost one member of our parliament in Iran following the events there. It is Amir, who actually just joined Asgardia's parliament in the latest elections in June 2023. And so I just wanted to mention that here because it's a sad news. I also, to go back to the topic, because I want to stay on track though, we have had some homework, and but actually it was not mentioned where we have to send our lines of business, and so I have mine.
Okay.
So
very good. Thank you.
I just want to, I don't know if I had to send it, what process, and maybe there's another discussion I'm not part of. I know in Parliament you have Slack, but I don't have access to Slack. So it's just to say that my line of business is ready. I may not have to talk about it today because I know we probably have a full agenda. But anyway, I can send it to you, Jakob, anyway, or to Benedetto, or to Lambit. I don't know, maybe the 3 together.
Yeah, that's okay. I to be honest, I forgot to mention that, but indeed, I was expecting people to just send it around, and of course also to Benedetto and myself. That would be very handy. But later this presentation, I'll show you that I already started a website, and maybe we can put them up there.
So I obviously also sent it to Teresa because she's also in my line of business, even though not government, but my counterpart in Parliament. So I sent it to her for information. I don't know exactly if we have to collaborate or if it is everyone doing it. And then, I mean, I just did my best, I guess, from the beautiful work that was done from Benedetto and from Jacob to encourage us to work to move forward. So I will send it around as suggested, maybe to all the chairs and ministers. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the way.
The
Very good.
best,
Thank you very much. Is if you want to present it now, or that's of course no problem. I don't know how much time we have, but it's always
Well,
good
no,
that
we can't
it's
have
good to
three
know.
presentations. We need to have just two today. But it'd be
Yeah.
great if Ivan's willing to present it next week, for example. That would be super.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like everybody to present eventually at this group.
and to answer your question, Ivan, the best, which is talk about line of business, is to work as a team between the chair and the minister.
Okay. So then I'm waiting from my counterpart since I sent the document. So thank you for the clarification.
Jacob.
Very good. Okay. Okay, then I'll restart the presentation. No problem. Try to do it in 10 minutes or so. Let me see whether this is the one. Is this the one? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, very good. So, 5-year mission starting now. Okay, so the idea was, and the 5-year mission being first tangible steps to prepare humanity for living and working in space. And the idea is to have this for each, a goal for each of the lines of business, where I just defined the word line of business as the combination of the ministry and the parliamentary committee. So we have 12 of those. And the idea is so to have a program with multiple projects in it with each sub goals for this main goal, of course. And there might also be a few multi-line of business programs for the whole. That might be. So, okay, so we had homework, like accept the challenge, confirm your function, confirm that you will eventually get the necessary resources, and of course specify those goal and if possible sub goals, and then put a signature on the paper so that we are sure that it's really you and that's really you are behind it, that you confirm that. And once we have it, then we can start this 5-year mission. And so if we have 12 of those documents, that would be very nice. And by now we already have 3, not real the documents, but at least we have 3 that have created something. So that's very good. 4 even, sorry, 4. Yeah, very good. So, okay, so the idea is that we have a goal and a program per line of business, and maybe also for a multi-line of business one. And the idea is, okay, how do we do that? How do you eat an elephant? Well, in small bites, in small steps. So we split up the program into projects. We split up project into smaller parts, and that way we can eventually eat the elephant. Of course, there should be a standardized way of working, and we could use AppKey for that. And of course, we should use standards, and we can of course use AIS for that. And that's just preaching from my own group, of course. I don't know what the English expression is for that. Anyway, so we have
We know
goals
what
and
you
program.
mean. You're boasting.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so a program consists of multiple projects, and every project is split up into epics, and an epic you can split up into features, and a feature you can split up into user stories. That's just phrasing. That's just splitting up things. And this comes from the agile way of working. That's a way of working that's used sometimes in projects. And this user story, that's the end point, and that's a very simple.
He froze.
I thought it was my headset. Can anybody hear Jacob?
No, the mic is off.
You've accidentally muted yourself, Jacob.
Okay,
Okay.
am I still
Yeah, we
back
hear you
again?
again now. Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was my connection over here. I am living in the middle of nowhere and I have a very bad internet connection, especially when it snows.
Try living in Britain.
Anyway, so you still see my presentation?
No.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. I'll try to share it again. I completely lost my connection then. Where is it? I think this is it. And then view slideshow.
Yeah, we see it again. Good.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this was it. So the idea was that we have a program. Every line of business has a program. You can split it up into projects. We can split that up again into epics, that up again into features, that up again into user stories. It's phrasing from the agile way of working. That's a sort of standardized way of working in projects. And the last one is a very small bite, and to eat the elephant, small bite, like as a resident, I want to be able to breathe in space, for example, and so that I can stay alive. And that's a very small thing to do. Yeah, it's a bit not a very good example, but the idea is that's called a user story. It's the smallest step in a project. And these are all tasks, and each has a goal. In this case, I want to be able to survive in space. And of course, not one single team can do this alone. So we need collaboration. We need collaboration within lines of business, and we keep with it the Asgardia branches and the legislative, the executive, the judicial branch. All those can work together in those things, and nobody can do it alone. And it would be very handy to have sort of a steering group per program and to be able to have a sort of overall control over what's happening within that line of business. And also a steering group for the whole 5-year mission. That would be convenient. Okay, so when you define such a goal, then it is good to have smarter and pure as abbreviations for what a goal should do. So a goal should be specific and strategic. A goal should be measurable. A goal should be achievable. It should be doable and so on. It should be realistic. All those things you see there, those are all things that you should think about. And you can't just say, okay, I want a new satellite. That's too easy. You should say, okay, why do you want this? And is it realistical? And can you do that with a few years or so? Is it recognizable? Is it a positive thing that you are doing? Is it even the last one? Is it ethically sound? Like mining on the moon or so. That is an interesting thing. I mean, you should at least think about pollution, for example. Okay, so smarter and pure are the abbreviations for the things that we should think about when we need to define a goal. And of course, apart from that, we also need a return on investment. And so you have to figure out how much it will cost you, how much time it will cost, how much people it will cost. And then somehow we will have to earn that back. As soon as we are sure that we can earn it back in a few years, then I'm very positive that we can get the money for it, even from head of nation. No problem there. As soon as we have the proof, or at least the very likelihood that we will get the money back, then it's no problem to get €1,000,000. Really no problem. We do that all the time. In the company I work for, we here and there give away things of €5,000,000 as our company, but we are sure that we will get it back in a few years. And that's why we do it. And so no problem. So that's important, the return on investment. What's also important in that return on investment, there's ownership, there's intellectual property, and we will come up things together with us as Asgardia. We will come up things, we will invent things, and that might become intellectual property that we have to keep for ourselves, or maybe we can even sell that, make profit out of it. Anyway, and a goal should also have commitments. We should have sufficient commitment to reach the goal. We should have functional and non-functional commitments for everything we are doing. Of course, we need budget and we need humans, residents, people, ourselves. We need people to do the things, and we need to have that in continuity. Even when there's a new prime minister, a new minister, there's people. Like now happened with this person in Iran, and that's really very bad. But those things can happen, and we need to be able to continue Okay, so we need resources. So we need people and time and money. And so that's for the project, logically, and because we need to do things. And in case of, for example, our example of manufacturing, we are focusing on this architecture, and we can do that with not much money. And it's only not a lot of people have to do something, a lot of time invested, a lot of people invested, but the money might be limited in our case. But we do need an institutional seed for the continuity. We need coordination, we need community activation, we need engagement, all those things. Yeah. And of course, we need some money to celebrate success because we want to remain proud of what we are doing. We should be proud of what we do. Asgardia is something to be proud of. And when we achieve things, then we will become even more proud. Okay, so we need a minimal institutional core for continuity. Institution meaning the combination of the lines of businesses. Huh? That's what we all are here as we are here now together. Okay, so planning, which sort of nicely matches with what John said earlier. In the first years, we look for capability building. So we try to activate the community, get people around us. Let's also put this continuity mechanism so that we will survive if two people get sick at the same time. We still should be able to go on. And of course, in the first 2 years, we can already generate a few outcomes. That would be great. And then after that, after those first few years in which we paved the way to do things, then we can start delivering measurable outcomes, really delivering things. And of course, celebrate things together with our partners that we do, like the ones that are mentioned already by Cheryl and by John Fine. And of course, we note the important part of the end, and it all starts with people. And we have to have an active population, otherwise we won't be able to do anything. If you don't have people, then you can't do anything. Okay, so it would be convenient to have a few steering groups for each program, that is to say, for each line of business, a steering group. And that doesn't have to be very large. I mean, the combination of the minister and the chair of the committee would be enough, and maybe one or two people next to them or so. But they should have the authority and the to do things, and because they have the ultimate responsibility. And the steering group is above all those programs. And so they look at the functional aspects, the non-functional aspects, and so on. And they can also say, okay, that's a nice idea, but however, at this moment, there's not enough return on investment for that idea, of that's not completely smart. Or there's a few things with those abbreviations that I showed earlier, smarter and pure, that maybe is not completely aligned to that yet, and this may be not complete yet. So we postpone it for a month, we pause it, we store the idea. We don't throw anything away because it might be a very good and smart idea, but we do need return on investment, for example. Okay, so and that's what the steering group also can do. And of course, the steering group also can comment on the planning of things and so on, and they can synchronize between other lines of businesses, with other programs, other projects, and so on, because we have to help each other, and things should be aligned. And also for this commitment and for this continuity. Okay. And of course, there should be contact persons for everything, for all the projects and blah, blah. And of course, also for the whole line of business. And that's logically that the minister and the chair of the committee would be the combination for the contact person for that combination. And it would also be nice to have a steering group for the whole 5-year mission. And that would be this one. The whole steering group for the whole thing would be a representative of every line of business, because we are in it together. We do this together. So we would have typically 12 people, at least, for this overall steering group. Then everybody is represented, every line of business is represented, everybody has their own say in it, and together we can do it. And so that together we don't only have the ambition, but we also have the institutionalized executive power. Quite a word, but that is, we can do the executive, and that's then supported by all the lines of business and by all those groups of residents that help us. And that is great, of course. It's going to be really nice. Well, of course, we need a way of working with that smarter and pure and so on. And it would be good to have, for example, half-year meetings and to have mission sessions. And so, okay, are we on our track? Are we still there? What's our roadmap look like? What kind of next increments can we do? And what have we last half year? What will we do in the last coming year and so on? What are we proud of? What can we celebrate? All those things. And it would be good to have a framework approach, like the thing that I already mentioned, and the agile way of working with Scrum and definition of ready and definition of done. All those things are project things, and then Apki knows all about it. Especially Benedetto has lots of knowledge about those things. And if we do it like this, then we can have measurable. And with all those steps, and we can in that project we can have key performance indicators. There's things to be able to measure those things. But the important thing is at the end, celebrating success, remaining proud, because we are doing really great stuff over here the coming 5 years. Okay, so this way of working is a holistic way, evolutionary approach. You don't have to do anything at the same time, but of course it has to be secure. You have to be robust because we are working towards space, and space is not a very friendly environment. So everything needs to be safe and robust, and it has to all the deliverables have to have autonomy, and it has to be done in certain ways. Things have to be documented and so on. If we do plan, do, check, act, then we don't forget things, and we continuously check what we are doing, and we have that in a circular way, a way of working this. And of course, we need to have also like the generic aspects like energy services and logistic service and coherence and habitat, because we are working towards living and working in space. And so sometimes you are doing things that are a bit far away from those things, but it might also be that you have to really think about, okay, we have to be really robust because we have to have logistics also in space. We have to have energy also in space. Okay. And when we do that in this way of working, at the end, the last point is diversity is important. When we have very different people with different backgrounds, different ways of looking at the world, looking at life and so on, that helps because then we have a diverse way of working, and that works very good in working together. And also would be good to look at nature. Nature has had, we as humankind, we only live like 50,000 years or so, 100,000 years, something like that. But nature has a few billion years of experience. So there's lots of experience all around us. So if we want to, we don't know how to do it, let's look at nature because that has lots of experience. Okay, so this is a framework of and how things are going to can we do things. So next step would typically be to create, work out all of this and create that framework. And in parallel, of course, every line of business can come up with these goals and with document the template that Benedetto sent around. So that's homework for everybody. There's already a few that have created that, but okay, for the rest also. So effectively, like we can come back in like 2 months from now and then have a session of 2 hours and like an ALF kind of style meeting. And first the small group shows of the framework, and then every line of business present their goals and their summary and their document and so on. And then we discuss this whole framework and those goals and see whether everything plans up, works up to the whole mission. And then like 2 months later, the small group can say, okay, this is then the definitive framework. And the other small group can say, okay, this is a portfolio of all the goals and programs that were presented during the previous one. And we can create one large program overview for that, for the whole mission. And then we can, of course, assign groups that start the program. And then we can start those things. And then again, 2 months later, again with such a meeting, then the small group can say, okay, we have a website here where we can put a framework, 5-year mission.space. It already works. I created it a few hours ago. So, and we can put there the goals and the programs and everything on it. Maybe we should make it even with a password or so that not everybody can look into it because it should be an Asgardian thing, but we'll work that out and by that. no problem. We have already a cloud environment that we have it running, and that's called Nextcloud and so on. So we already have the IT sort of in place for it. So no problem there. Just keep focusing on the mission, keep focusing on those projects, all those things around it. We'll arrange those things, no problem. And then again, 2 months later, everybody can present their activities for the last few months. And then we can make a presentation for nation. Why not? And then make us proud, make ourselves proud, make him proud of what we are doing. And then when he is proud, ask him money. Because then he will be shown what we are doing, that we are quite serious. We have by then already have worked for half a year or so. We already have quite something on paper. We have quite nice projects running. We have groups of people doing real stuff. By then he will be very impressed of what we are doing. And then he will be very open to giving us money, because by then we will have a return on investment on paper. And when we have that, he is a businessman. He will listen to return on investment. So we can then ask him for that money. And then 2 months later, that small group that talked to him can say, okay, this is what he gave. This is what the commitment that he gave for the budget. And of course, the rest of the line of business can then present their activities. And by then we are about half year or so as mission. And then we can say, okay, the coming half year, we will do this and this and this. And that's the next increment of our activities. And then 2 months later, blah, 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 and so on. This will continue. We will have a 5-year mission like this in steps of like 2 months or so. So that's my last sheet. Let's do it. Let's do it. And we are counting on us. We are counting on everybody, not only the people present now, but on the whole parliament, the whole cabinet, but also on all the residents. All the people that are watching right now, please become enthusiastic, like I am at the moment, because this is our Asgardia 5-year mission. We can do this.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's very enthusiastic. Very enthusiastic result there, and it's quite a lot of work if we do it that way. And John.
I just want to say that was a great presentation. I appreciate it. And it's very aligned with what I gave, and aligned with what Cheryl was talking about. And then this is the kind of work we need. This is like I said before, this is what will move us forward. Chair, I just wanted to let you know I sent those documents forward to Linda, so she should have them now, and she can give them to all of Parliament if she wanted. I shared it with a few other people, but I didn't share it with everybody. But I sent them to Linda. Okay.
Thanks, John. Benedetto. Ivan, Ricky. So Benedetto.
So thank you, Jacob, for the presentation. What is very important to understand is that from Asgardia, we don't need the money for the project themselves. We really need money for the institutional management, coordination, and continuity. That is very important to know. We need a permanent contact between this ecosystem that we want to create and the administration of Asgardia itself. So if we don't have that at an entry part of that project, all what we do here with Jacob will never happen. So it's very important that we create this bridge between the administration and all those projects. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Actions speak louder than words. People are always happy to invest in action. The crucial thing that Jacob said is that his company invests when there's a return. Head of nation and residents and everybody else will be the same. Ivan, Ricky, John.
Thank you for the presentation. It gives a very good example of what the line of business should be. And I realized that what I've done needs to be modified. And I understand it's a work in progress, and we have meetings that you propose every 2 months. So of course we can work on it as we go, but it's good to have an idea at first. I like your idea also to involve the residents. It makes sense. And actually, I was approached by some residents who asked, if they could actually, because they watch our YouTube live, like you can go now and see their comments. We have a few today who are present and active and who actually want to be involved because in a way they feel they care for Asgardia and they want to be part of what we're trying to build, what we are not trying, what we are building. And so it's a very good idea to do so. To include them. For now, we don't have really channels for that. There's the blog on the asgardia.space website, and we have the app. And the app is very useful, and that's how I was contacted with the super app. So I encourage the people who are watching us and who haven't yet added me as a friend there to connect directly with me. Unfortunately, there are still some bugs on the website, the asgardia.space website, to communicate, send private messages to each other. So everyone listening, please go on the Asgardia app, and that's the best way so far for Asgardians to communicate with each other. And you can, of course, contact me as as your Minister of Citizenship. I would be glad to make a reply and to onboard you if you want to join and help. So these are the main points I wanted to mention. And again, thank you, Jakob, for your presentation.
I agree. Well made. Good point, well made. And by the way, we fixed it. So from now on, all ministers will automatically get the link for these meetings. You don't have to come, but you have to get the link. Ricky, then John.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard Jacob correctly, but did he say that there's an Asgardia cloud system?
Yeah.
Or that they're working on one?
Yeah, there is.
Well, send a link for that in the email.
Yeah,
if you would.
well, it's
I haven't heard of it.
No, it is still in its first stages, but it's already running for about a year or so. We are trying to do some experiments on it. It is based on Nextcloud, which is an open source environment which looks a bit like the Google stuff that you can get. And Google has a very suite of lots of things, and Nextcloud has a similar thing. However, it is open source, and when you can put it on your own servers, and then it's actually completely yours. So we have it running on our own servers in Germany. It's not really our Asgardia own service, but it's a cloud service that you can rent from those guys in Germany. And it does run Nextcloud, and you can run email on it. You can do these kind of Zoom meetings. You can have files. You can have wikis. You can have everything. It's a whole online environment that you can also secure and everything. So it's very good. And there's quite a few governments all around the world that use this same Nextcloud environment. So it is proven technology. And it's typically that also the environment that a lot of governments all around the world are looking at it. Among others, my own here in the Netherlands. I'm currently working for the government here in the Netherlands. As an enterprise architect in IT, I'm suggesting to go to Nextcloud because it's so powerful and so full of features. And we have that already. It is paid for. It's not even that expensive. I asked for that money. It's like €1,000 a year or so. It's completely nothing. So we have that. So if we have people that are now watching and that have some time left and know a bit about IT, please have them contact me, because then they can help enlarging the system that we already have. Yeah.
Well, if you can send a link for that in the email, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll try to send you something. Yeah.
You're up next, Ricky. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Can you do that? Can you do that?
Sure.
That?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. Okay. Anybody else? John, back to you, John.
Well, I just want to ask Benedetto if he could stop by my place. I sure would like to get a ride on that cruiser he's on. Because that can't be a ship. That has to be some kind of space cruiser. That looks very comfortable.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that comment. That's what else I can say. Okay, thanks everyone. I think that's been very productive. Last word to you, Jakob, and then we'll probably close the meeting. Jakob?
Yeah, I'm very happy with what we are seeing here and the few reactions that we had and everybody reacting positively. So I'm a very optimistic person. So I'm very much looking forward to receiving more of those things that we have and the homework and everything. So let's continue. Let's do it. Let's start this 5-year mission of ours.
Nicely put. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jakob. And thank you for starting the process. One thing I'll simply say is make sure people aren't overloaded with process because they'll drop out. Has to be easy. Has to be easy. And it has to be natural, has to be organic. And then it'll work. But I'm just so pleased that ministers and Parliament working together are already generating this momentum. One other thought, final thought. Let's make a big impact on the 12th of October this year, the 10th anniversary. Let's aim for that to be our showcase day, whatever we're doing. I know the head of nation wants to celebrate 10 years. Let's make sure that's the showcase day. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for a great meeting. Looking ahead then, any other business, raise your hand if you want to say anything else. I expect to have the Asgardia Legislative Forum on the 14th of... sorry, that's actually... I'm wrong. I was wrong. Sorry, on the 21st. I was completely misleading you. On the 21st, the week before the actual sitting. Not the 14th, the 21st. So apologies for that. And it'll be on the content of the next digital sitting. I'll confirm the times, but it's the 21st. My apologies. That was completely my mistake. And we'll put out the agenda very soon on that because I know what it is. Next.
I want to share this screen because a parliamentarian, very, very clever and very younger, now is in the cosmos, not with us.
What's with the government? I didn't hear the last part, sorry. I didn't hear the last thing you said, Ariadne.
Sorry, do you hear me?
Yes.
I recall the Ivan said about Qatari parliamentarian. He died, and I want to recall to all of us a very young parliamentarian, very clever.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. That's all that I want to say.
I'm looking into that. Yes, it looks like we may, as Ivan also said, we may have lost somebody. But I want to check all the facts before I make a statement. Nothing is more distressing than saying somebody is dead when they are not. I need to find out the circumstances. So yes, you're right. We need to look at that, and I'll make that announcement properly once we've looked into it. Thank you for letting me know as well, by the way. Okay. And then there's been a suggestion that we create an in memoriam for those parliamentarians who we have lost. We should put everybody who we lost, Millard Deutsch and others, in that as well. I think there needs to be a wall of some sort to remind us of all the people who've been in it. That's a great idea from Sarah. Now, so it'll be 21 February. It's quite close to the actual digital sitting, but I think we have to have it then. Secondly, digital sitting still scheduled for 27th February to 1 March. Please do try to attend that. It'll be very helpful. And the final thing is that we've talked a lot about process. Let's turn that into action now. And that's really important. And don't be intimidated. Just do as much or as little as you can, but do something. We are seriously progressing. And we are on the high seas of opportunity now, and the captains and the officers are here. Let's build a crew, and let's have passengers too. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to the team, and thank you for those two great presentations. John, I'll do those things later on tonight or first thing tomorrow within 24 hours, as we discussed at the previous meeting. And I really appreciate Peter actually getting home without crashing. So we'll stop the recording now. If you well, after I say this, please do join Asgardia. €100 a year, and you get all the benefits of residency and eventually citizenship too. And next Thursday, we will talk about the Asgardia Territory Act at this meeting too. So have a great and sorry, one last thing. On the 12th of February, I may have to change the timings of the meeting a bit because I have to have meetings about broadcasting Asgardia's content. So we may have to do it 1 hour earlier for both the meetings, but I will confirm that in advance. So thank you. Have a good evening. We can stop the broadcast and oh ho.